Today we have the brand new Head Gravity Tour versus the VCore 98. Both 98s, both 3 or 5 grams. Which one is better?
Here it is then, the brand new Gravity Tour 98.
So brand new, it's not even out yet.
Yes, we are very lucky to have it a bit early, and we thought, what better racket to put it up against as a little test than the VCore 98 from Yonex.
So these two rackets going head to head make perfect sense. They're both 98s, they're both 3 or 5 grams, and they're both a 16-19 string pattern.
Now, before you launch into the comments, you said they make perfect sense. They make some sense. They are slightly different rackets. They are intended for different styles of game, but the specs are very, very similar. The only difference in terms of the specifications between these two rackets is a 5mm difference in the balance point.
So the balance point difference is 315mm in the VCore and 320 in the Gravity 98 Tour. We're going to get on court, put them through their paces, and let you know which one is best. We have just come off court, as you can see from playing some points with...
Speak for yourself.
with the new Gravity 98 Tour and of course the Yonex VCore 98. First thoughts, Ben?
Really quite difficult in a sort of in a strange way.
Difficult in what way to compare?
To compare, because the Gravity straight away, neither of us, well, sorry, I'll speak for myself. I didn't particularly like the Gravity straight away, but the more I used it, the more I started to get on with it, which makes me start to believe that it could just be a fairly difficult racket to use, and that by no means it's good or bad. It just takes a bit of getting on with.
So, yeah, in my mind, obviously they're different. Whilst they're similar in spec, which is the only difference really being that balance point, they are different in style of racket.
Yes,
we obviously have the VCore, the spin frame, the Gravity 98, probably more geared towards a control frame, even though it's in the Gravity family, which in the rest of the range is kind of slightly more playability and power orientated-ish.
Yeah, indeed.
The 98 Tour is supposed to be more of a player's frame, more controlling, so they don't really match up in style. My first thoughts overall are similar. I think I preferred the VCore in some elements, and I enjoyed the Gravity more in some elements. I think it's depending on what type of player you are to which one you would get on with.
Yes, it certainly isn't cut and dry. That's the one thing we can say for sure, is that it massively is going to depend on how you play. I think a big part of it is we've used the VCore a lot for a very long time, and obviously this is a brand new. The old Gravity was 100 square inch. They've dropped it to a 98 for this version. So it's essentially a brand new racket for us to try, and that takes a bit of getting used to, and it just felt like it took a bit longer than normal to sort of get on with it.
Yeah, so let's go through our categories. Power.
Did you just flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Been in the gym this morning.
Yeah. Can you tell?
Not yet. Give me 6 weeks. So, power.
Yeah.
And we're talking about easy access power, right? When using the power that's already on the ball, the speed on the incoming ball, shorter swings, pushes, nudges, counter punching, the racket does that work for you. In that case, easy winner. VCore is more powerful. We don't know the RAS, but it certainly feels like a stiffer frame.
Yes, the VCore just gives more power. I'm not saying that you can't play powerfully, but all things ceteris paribus, all things being equal, you get more power out of a VCore 98.
That economics A level coming in well handy.
Yeah, excellent, isn't it?
So, spin. And as I said earlier, different categories of racket. The VCore is a spin-orientated racket, so no clues as to which one we think generates more topspin.
Yes, but it is the VCore.
It is indeed.
By quite a long way.
Yes, yeah. Quite a long way indeed. Now, starting to get interesting. So when it comes to control, we have a little bit of a difference of opinion.
Yes, which is fine. Before you start, which is fine, commenters. I think that control is about the racket giving you a realistic or controlled feedback in terms of, so what you put in, you get out. And for me, the Gravity Tour does that almost perfectly. If you swing hard, it will play hard. If you swing careful, it will play careful. It doesn't sort of add or take away anything from what you do. So therefore, to me, it is a control frame.
I certainly agree that on faster, flatter shots. So probably stronger, higher level players, they're going to find a lot more control out of the gravity. That I don't doubt. On slower shots, slower swings, pushes, half swings, returns, the control out of the VCore, I think then, probably because of that power element,
and the spin as well.
And the spin allows you to control the ball and control the racket face. That is a bit more stable, control it a bit more. But as you increase the speed, it becomes a little bit harder to control and the gravity kind of takes over. So I think depending on your level of play and the speed of your swing, you're going to favour one or other. Yeah,
essentially is what does control mean? It means two different things and the two rackets sort of suit the two different categories almost. So,
but overall I will concede that the Gravity Tour 98 is better at controlling the ball than...
You get more, it's more realistic in terms of expectation. You get what you expect when you play with that racket. This gives you more. It sort of amplifies, I think is the word.
Amplifies. Yeah. When it comes to touch and feel, we have Oxetic 2.0 versus VDM.
One of the world's greatest battles.
And so when it comes to feel and feedback through your hands, which one do you think's better?
Again, it's quite difficult, and they're both good, but again in very different ways. I think this feels nicer. It's a bit softer, and it feels a little bit like it pockets the ball a little bit more, and that again I think might just be the style of racket. But in terms of then like the feedback you get, I feel like this is more realistic again.
Yeah, so I think for the first time ever, the touch and feel are separate. So I think feel, I mean the other way around.
Yeah.
I think in feel, the VCore on impact feels nicer, but in terms of actual like touch and feedback through your hands and being able to generate drop shots, drop volleys, that sort of thing, the Gravity's better.
Yeah, that's a much better way of saying what I just said. Yes, agreed.
As
perfectly.
Always, I lead the way. Power, VCore, spin, VCore, control, gravity, touch,
both.
Gravity, feel, VCore. When it comes to style of player, this is where the choice is going to come. If you are a spinnier player who generates a lot of topspin, plays more on slower courts, you're probably going to prefer the VCore.
Yeah, for sure. And conversely, a higher level player, perhaps maybe you play flatter, a bit more of a serve volleyer, you're going to much prefer the Gravity 98. Sorry, not much prefer, you might prefer the Gravity 98. As usual, it all comes down to just personal preference.
Yeah, I certainly think there'll be a kind of, imagine a speedometer of change. The better you are, the more likely you are to gravitate towards the Gravity.
Very good.
Thank you. So it's definitely worth testing. Obviously, if you had the previous Gravity 98 Tour was 100. So the new Gravity Pro is 100, so maybe that'll be an option for you. But equally, it would definitely be worth trying this 98 version. Similarly, if you use the VCore, but you find maybe you blow the ball out the back of the court a little bit, looking for a bit more control, maybe your level's improved since you purchased it, it might be worth giving the Gravity 98 Tour a try.
Yes, as usual, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please share and subscribe and all those lovely things, and you will see us soon in another video, I'm sure.